Welcome to Detroit in Black and White, our Wednesday edition. It's me and you, Jim Nardone.
People have fled. They're running away from us. What did we do?
I don't know, man. You know, but hey, it's been a busy week.
Excitement everywhere, right? Allan Lengel's in Washington D.C. Is he trying to get an appointment to something under the Trump?
You know, he be the media spokesman for Donald Trump. Our girl is back. She'll be back on Saturday and Friday.
Our world traveler, world famous attorney Vanessa Moss.
Yeah, no question about it. Well, one of your favorite politicians left the house, flew the coop, whatever you want to call it, Lindsey Graham. Is that good or bad thing for the Republican majority in the Senate?
Well, I don't know that it changes the majority, but my disappointment, and I'm not going to talk ill of the dead. Here's a guy that was just overseas trying to do some good for the United States. At least he was trying to, whether you agree with him or not. And he's gone, unfinished plans. You think we think about our own mortality. Here's a guy that was overseas. He came back. He wasn't feeling great, and he didn't make it through the night. So he had an aortic dissection, I guess.
Yeah, he had to have some press conference before all that came down. But and he decided to wait to bed. But I'm not talking about, unfortunately, he died. He made it too late. But I'm talking about, depends on who you talk to. On one side of the aisle, the Republicans crying like they lost their father and brother and son. And on the other side, you got comedians making jokes. They said what goes around, what goes around comes around, whatever, and people are not shedding a tear. I just want to know those folks out there that are tuned in tonight. What do you think? Should we make fun of the dead? I remember when Coleman Young passed away, and fucking Al Brooks Patterson had a long quote in the paper. He just trashed him and stuff. But sooner or later, when Al Brooks died, the same shit, So it comes around.
Hello, G Money Hollywood 4116. Greetings to you. We're talking to you. We see you, Janet. Overall, good evening to you. Thank you for joining us. As always, you're always there for us. Deborah Harris, good evening. We're doing great. Glad to see you out there. We're glad to have your support, Deborah. Dewayla Boyce, longtime viewer. Good evening. Oh, finger red number 1. I'm not sure I know what that means. Maybe I'm missing something there, Dewayla. But here's the thing. It's tragic when anybody dies. It's tragic when a mother loses her son. It's tragic when a father dies and the family suffers. I think it's more a reflection on ourselves when we're excited that someone lost his life, whether you agree with him or don't agree with him, whether he's a Democrat. We're talking politics today, whether it's a Democrat or Republican or a city councilman in Detroit or the mayor. I just think it reflects poorly on you when you talk ill of somebody that's left us. You may think that he's a bad guy, but in reality, he was trying to get to the same place you were getting. He just has a different method. And that's Democrats and Republicans. They all have a different method. They all look out, and everybody looks out for their own interests. I'm not going to fight that. I'm not going to debate somebody that's going to say this guy's the devil. This guy was not the devil. All right. You may not.
Yeah, but some of the people would say there's the argument. He caused harm to a lot of people by his votes and his agenda, and they don't. And I understand and they don't cry for him. But my story is, should people be on TV making jokes and making fun of him and calling him all kind of names? And I know I've seen this before. Saw it when Coleman Young died. Saw it when Al Brooks Patterson died. Something like Charlie Kirk died. They, you know, on one side they said he was a god. He was the greatest thing that ever happened. On the other side, he was a white supremacist, hate monger, and whatever. It was no middle ground. And so here we are. When Jesse Jackson died, they asked, could he lay in state in the Capitol? Republicans, hell no, because they didn't like him. Now we see what they do with Lindsey Graham, because that, I'm sure they're gonna give him a hero's funeral. So you damned if you do, you damned if you don't. People don't. People are vicious. You know that, especially a person that's been in the spotlight, good, bad, or otherwise.
But what do we expect? These are just human beings. Deborah Harris says no. A lot of people. Be nice. 1052 says a lot of people, and that goes both ways. It's always sad when someone crosses over to the other side of life and death. I just hope he knew Jesus Christ in the parting of his sins. Thank you, Deborah Harris. Janet Salak, greetings, all you good peeps. Have a good show. Well, good show if you join us, Jan. Thank you for joining us. Dominic Zarilli. Where's Allan at tonight? Adolph, good to see you. Dominic. Welcome, Dominic. It's good to see you. I don't know Dominic, but apparently he knows you and Allan. So,
okay.
Thank you for being a part of the show.
No question.
Edward All, thank you, Edward. Good evening to you. Again, I'll just go back to it. There's people we don't like in this world, and we're all leaving. None of us are staying forever. All right, we're all going to die, and it's the same with politics. It's the same if you hate Donald Trump. We talked about Tudor Dixon, or if you hate Rick Snyder, or you hate John Engler or Jim Blanchard, whoever you want to hate, you're not helping yourself by hating these people. They probably don't know you, and you're probably not going to impact them or their family by speaking ill of them. It's not helping you. That just tells me who you are, not who they are. Lindsey Graham doesn't care what you say about him.
No, he don't care about. He's gone. But I learned that people hate are deep. I had a journalism teacher in high school. He was the advisor for the student paper, and he told me a story that I just couldn't believe it. He said he was a teacher in Dearborn, Michigan, at the high school in 1963. He said he taught a current events class where students get up every day and read the most important stories of the day. Said on a Monday, students came in, student read where in Birmingham, Alabama, a bomb went off in a church, killed 4 little black girls in Sunday school. And he said after the student read it, most of the class got up and clapped. He said he got sick to his stomach. Said he couldn't believe these are high school students, and this is how much hate they had after they heard that story. And it was all in the news, and it was. How can you be glad that somebody blew up 4 little girls? Now there's a story that George Wallace, who was the governor at the time of Alabama, his wife, who became governor after him, Lurleen Wallace, he came home that Sunday night because all hell had broke loose, and she blamed him. And he said, "Why are you blaming me?" She said, "You got little kids, and your hate that you preach every day call somebody to go out there and blow up a church? And how could people be so fucking happy that that's unbelievable? But we've seen it with Emmett Till. We've seen it with oh man, I can just name all the folks that people saying, oh, they deserve to die. They, let them go. They deserve it. Just how can you have that much hate?
And that's exactly what you're talking about, Adolph, is hate. People carry this much hate inside their body and their heart, and it's not helping anybody. It's certainly not helping them. This life realm cannot be respected or trusted, less more. Air is bad. Janet, in your area, Janet makes a great point. We all have family and somebody loves them. Thank you, Janet. That's a great point. The Canadian wildfire smoke it just got dark here, Ken, about 30 minutes ago. I thought, boy, it's awful early, but it's getting dark. We're getting smoke.
Yeah, well, we deal with it every day. But anyway, why don't you read some more of the comments?
I think we're caught up, except Edward. Thank you, Edward, for saving me there. My parents taught me that if you can't say something good about the dead, then don't say anything at all. Thank you, Edward. This is just politics, right? And I say this, people get angry when I say this. I always have, and I've always said this. Adolph, please tell me what you think, the viewers. Politics is a game. It's no different than baseball or football. That's the way I feel about politics. Does it have significant impact on our lives? Absolutely. But it's still just a game to these people. They're voting. They're getting in line behind who they want to support and who they don't want to support. Talked about Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham gave an impassioned speech. The first time the Senate met after January 6th and said, count me out. Well, he didn't stay in that position for very long. He went right back to the president. And I would say this, if Lindsey Graham had stood up and stayed in his position, stayed in his lane and said, you know what, Mr. President, this is wrong. You lit the flame here. You rubbed the wood together that started this fire. No matter what I think or what you think, we need to work together to get out from underneath this instead of embracing the president at that time.
Well, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen.
So that's his. I mean, that's his. That's why I don't hate the guy. I don't like him, but I think he had a chance in history to play a significant role in this country, and he punted. He didn't. He stood up and said it, and then he backed down right away, and that's troubling to me because of politics.
But people do that all the time. When I was a newspaper reporter in Maryland, I went to Frederick County, Maryland courthouse. The first day I was on the job, and I saw a statue of former Supreme Court Justice Roger B. Taney. They had night and day. I said, yeah, how do they get a statue of this asshole in history, go down in history as one of the worst? But anyway, he was born in Frederick, got a house still there, standing in Frederick, buried in Frederick. So, the statue been up since the 30s. So I called the head of the NAACP, and I said, what do y'all think of this statue? Said, oh, it should be torn down, shouldn't have never been there, etc. I wrote a story. Shit, I got all kind of threats. And he backtracked because he got all kind of threats. And he attacked me. I didn't make up the quotes coming out of his mouth, but it was political. Now you got some Democrats. They playing a political game. They really don't want to say anything good about Lindsey Graham, but they give their condolences. And then you got the Congressional Black Caucus say we got no comment at all. His action speaks for himself, and Lindsey Graham became Donald Trump's lackey, his flunky. So people is like, you were there, you was running for your life, and I saw him on TV live saying, "That's enough. I'm through with this crazy shit. All these folks need to go to jail. Prosecuting." Boom. Then hey, you
Quick
back.
comments. Les said Lindsey Graham was a gay man who could not accept the reality of his behavior was frustrating. I don't know if that's true, Les. I suspect you're right on with that. He made his choice, Kenneth Reed, and he did.
But why would you attack gay rights and all this other stuff, and you doing the same shit that you're attacking? It's like the Nazis put a lot of homosexuals in concentration camps, and the guy that helped found the Nazi party was the biggest gay of them all. So let's take a break, and we come back with our guest, Willie Burton, a candidate for State Rep 9th District and former police commissioner.
Midterm elections influence our schools, public safety, housing, and other services families rely on every day, including gas prices. While presidential elections get more attention, many decisions that affect daily life are made by leaders elected in the midterms. Voting helps ensure community concerns are heard. It holds leaders accountable and supports positive change. Make a plan to vote. Our community is strongest when every voice is heard. For more information, call or visit us online.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabria, your Wayne County Treasurer. If you're living in a home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, the probate process can be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. Contact us at 313-224-5990 or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. We're here to help.
Okay. Willie Burton.
Hey, how you doing? And thank you for having me.
No question. Before I come back to you, no, we'll go right to you. Okay, you're running for a state rep, 9th district. Why should I vote for you?
For 12 years, public safety has been on the forefront, and that's what I've been serving to ensure that our police has the tools and resources that they deserve, but more importantly, that our streets and neighborhoods remain safe. My colleagues and I, when I was on the police board, we approved over a $400 million budget to go into public safety. We got more cops in the precincts, more on patrol. Police response times has right now it's about four and a half minutes, which is below the national average. Public safety is something that I value from being a police commissioner. Now I'm a police commissioner emeritus. And I'm excited to be in this race because Detroiters want a proven fighter, someone who have a proven track record of getting things done. When I first took office, police response times was deplorable. It took over 2.5 hours before a cop even showed up to someone's doorsteps. So we have accomplished a lot from the time I first took office until where we are right now. So police response times now, once again, is 4.5 minutes. When I first took office, the city was under emergency manager. We was under a 13-year federal consent decree. We were able to get from underneath all of that. And so we were able to get our officers equipped with body-worn cameras, deploy those out in 2017 across the department. So public safety is one of those issues that matters most to me, matters most to my constituents.
So what can you do as a state rep? What does a state rep do? Because there's a lot of state reps that they come in and go, and I don't know what the fuck that they do. If you get elected, what are some of your priorities from day one?
Well, day one, mental health. We have to be able to put more resources and dollars behind mental health. Mental health is a growing problem in our district. In 1997, Giant English shut down 16 mental health facilities. And right now, there is a outcry in our community where members need help, support. We have to open up state-of-the-art triage centers that's actually going to work for those that are in need. But more importantly, our precious seniors, many of them are being displaced. And so we have to push for affordable homes. We have to stop some of these unfair, illegal foreclosures. And so I want to put some safeguards in place to protect our most vulnerable senior citizens from being displaced from their community. And so I'm going to work with our team up in Lansing. I'm going to make sure that we can get something done on their behalf. And even seniors at even age 62 of age, I want to be able to work on reducing the property taxes. I just think that property taxes has skyrocketed these past few years. And right now we need to take a deep dive in understanding why, how, and put safeguards in place to protect those that are in need.
Can I stop you for just a second? We have a comment. We have some comments, Mr. Burton.
Sure, absolutely.
Touch on one. I want you to maybe comment on it because I think we know the answer. I'm not sure Les does. Are you hoping to get a lifelong pension? We know that the legislature no longer has a defined benefit pension system. Is that correct?
Can you repeat that, please?
There was a question about a lifelong pension, and it's my understanding that neither the Michigan no body of the Michigan legislature has a pension system anymore. Is that right?
That's correct. That is correct, and that's something else that needs to be looked into. And I plan to roll my sleeves up and work with our soon to be my colleagues in Lansing to put something back in place. Another thing that needs to be addressed and looked into as well is that the staff that works for legislators up in Lansing, whether it's the House or the Senate, those are non-union positions. And so, every piece of literature that goes out with my name on it, it has the labor union bug. So, I support labor, support working families. And, so one of the things we have to do is to make sure that those positions become unionized because, the unions are the backbone to our community. And without labor, where will we be today and some of our families? And so I'm going to continue to support labor, support working families, and we're going to get the job done. So I got my sleeves rolled up. And I'm ready to go to work. I'm a true fighter, so I've been fighting for a long time. But Willie,
critics say though, that our elected officials up in Lansing is one of the few bodies in the country that's full time, and saying that why don't we just do what some other states do? Let the politicians meet 1 month out of a year or 2 months out of a year and don't pay them all this money. They do it in Texas, they do it in Florida. And people say you shouldn't have a pension. This should be public service and stuff. And I understand about the people that work for elected officials, getting paid, doing mostly all the work. But yeah, you think this is a full-time job, and unlike the county commission where it's part-time, but they get paid well just to be there for a minute.
Well, I find the issues that matters most to the traders, especially in the district that I'll be representing, is that these are serious times, serious moments, and a lot of these issues we've been fighting for a long time, like affordable housing, transit, paying our workers a fair wage, and protecting senior rights. And so that's not a part-time or a small task. Once again, I'm a lifelong Detroiter, lifelong advocate, pushing for working families, affordable housing, working with our seniors. And so they need a champion in Lansing. They need someone who's going to be a workaholic and work on these issues that matters most to them. That's not afraid to ask the tough questions, not afraid to speak out in session. And so when I get there, I'm going to continue to fight like I've been fighting all these years. And so the fight continues on. It doesn't stop right now.
And thank you, Les. Thank you, Les. You're 3 steps ahead of me. My apologies. I appreciate it. G Money Hollywood says, if the average working class citizen and your average Fortune 500 companies do not supply pensions, why should someone in state government that has an appointment or an election for a maximum? Go ahead.
I'm a public servant, and so I'm not a career politician. I'm a public servant. I believe in people over politics and people over profit. And right now, we need a champion in Lansing that's really going to fight for the people. And right now, we haven't seen that in this district in quite some time. And so I plan to be the first to go up there and really get some things done when it comes to helping working families, affordable housing, helping our seniors stay in their homes without being displaced, because that's a big issue right now in our district.
Who represented the district right now?
Right now, Joe Tate represents the district currently as the state rep. But right now, traders can wait for him to step aside and wait for Burton to step in and go to work for the people. And that's what Burton is ready to do.
Okay.
Good evening, Tamari Kemet and Dorian Denard, a longtime viewer. And you're talking to your voters out there tonight, sir. So talk to your voters. Willie, come on, man. Answer the question without a campaign quote.
Well, Joe Tate, I call him Useless Joe.
Hey, Queen B.
I hope that you get elected. You do more than what he did. And he was the Speaker of the House, and he failed miserably at the end of the day. There's a lot of, Detroit got a lot of issues. Schools is one of the issues. Let me ask you this question, Willie. Should the city, should the mayor be in control of the school district?
Right now, I support public education, K through 12.
I'm asking you, should the mayor be in control of the school district? I'm an advocate of that.
I would say no. I say the mayor has their hands cut out for them right now. As far as budgeting a $3 billion budget here in the city, running the school district, as well as managing the city. It's 2 separate entities. I just think that the mayor right now, I would love to see the mayor balance this $3 billion budget. My apologies for corrections, to balance this $3 billion budget, and I'd like to see them continue to.
But how can you bring back? How can you bring back a city when your school district is fucked up? And when you go from 200,000 students to now less than 30 or maybe 40, and you got a superintendent that even sent his kids to another school district, and you paying him $500,000 a year, and you said, somebody got to answer to somebody. Somebody need to control the school district, because the school board has no checks and balances.
That is correct, but I don't think that the school district should be ran by the mayor, nor do I feel that
Somebody need to run it.
Somebody do need to run it, and it should not be Viti, but it also should not be the mayor as well. I think the mayor, have her hands cut out for her as far as balancing this $3 billion budget. I think she's doing she's off to a good start right now. She did a decent job on council, and she's off to a good, a halfway decent start as mayor. And so I'd love to see the city balance this $3 billion budget. And I just think that the school district the school district needs a board that's really care about its students. And I just think that you have some wonderful teachers that's teaching in the school system. Right now, we have to overturn everything that the financial manager of DPS.
It's kind of late. It's kind of late. Anyway, if somebody want to, Willie, help on your campaign, how they get in touch with you?
Sure, willieburton.com. There's a comment box there. Fill out the comment box of how to get in, whether you want to door knock, phone bank, walk with us. Right now we're down to 20 days to election. And so we fired up, we're ready to go, knocking on doors. My team is, has been amazing, all during the duration of this campaign cycle. So I'm proud to say we have the endorsement of ATU Local 26, proud to say we have the endorsement of the Teamsters Local 299, as well as the 13th Congressional District.
Okay. Well, good luck. And next time we have it have you on, hopefully you'll be a state rep elect. Willie Burton, 9th District. Thanks, Willie.
Thank you. I salute you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for having me on.
Okay. Jim, why don't you read some of our comments?
Miss Sheila wants everybody starts putting children first instead of executives' pockets. Thank you, Miss Sheila. Who should run the schools in Detroit, and how fast can you build a team? Deborah Harris, 4120. Former Inkster State Representative Jewel Jones is one of the heroes. Thank you. Les, bought to me, Dorian Denard. Les, number one, smelling. Les Moore got the drop on me. I can tell you that tonight. He's way ahead of me on the game. He knows what's going on. Thank you, Les, for enlightening me. I don't want to even talk about it, but I appreciate it. The board members are a big problem too. You don't even see VD in public. Kenneth Reed, he's busy in his office. Kenneth, these politicians don't want to work, so of course we're not going to. He's not going to suggest that Dorian.
But you know what? I have not. That we have had all the people that ran for mayor. We have had state reps, people that running for the Senate, U.S. Senate, state Senate, and nobody want to touch the school district.
Tamaya Brown's out there tonight. Yeah, thank you, Tamaya. Good evening to you, and thanks for sharing. Sorry, Adolph, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I thought that Joe Tate was term limited out. I had never heard of Joe Tate until he became speaker, so that tells you where he's coming from. Yeah, nobody wants to touch the school.
I think that's true.
Nobody.
Tamaya, you're never late. You're here with us. We don't care that you're a little behind us. You can come on anytime. We're glad to have you on. Mighty Joe Tate came up short. Most of these government jobs are very cushy and does not require any critical thinking skills. And those who get elected are basically looking to collect taxpayers' money. I hope you're not like that. Willie Burton, I hope you're out there and I hope you see that. And our friend Queen Bee, Joe Tate is useless. Same old song and dance. Dorian, government systems on the local, state, and federal have been run by machines. We don't need politicians so much. I think that's accurate, but there's people behind those machines, Les. But you aren't wrong. I talked about Tamari. It's good to see you. Thank you for joining us. If the average working class citizen and your average 500 companies do not supply pensions, we talked about that. Why should the state? Graham was a key player in the Senate Republicans' failed effort to repeal the ACA, the Affordable Care Act.
Well, they don't have a game plan, and Once the genie is let out the bottle, you can't put it back in the bottle, and you can't go and repeal it, because if you don't have anything, it'll be a mass revolt across this country. Because people, you go to some of these folks that support Trump and say, should we get rid of Obamacare? They say, hell yeah. And keep what? The Affordable Care Act. They don't know. Both of it's the same.
It is the same.
or I don't want any subsidy from the government. I'm taking no government money. What about your Medicaid, Medicare? Don't touch that.
Well, let me ask you a question about that, Adolph, and our viewers. I think we talk, and one of the candidates for Senate, Abdul El-Sayed, is talking about Medicare for all. He does know that we pay for Medicare, right? He does know that our whole life, most of us put a significant, substantial amount of money into that system. And when we reach 65, we keep paying, right? We have money taken out of our Social Security. So are they suggesting that it should be free for all?
Yeah.
Is that the Medicare for all that they're talking about? Because nobody's talking about the money that people put into Medicare.
So that's how they pay us back. People that worked.
Yes.
Yeah. Cynthia Burnett, 9681, said Willie didn't really listen to the questions. He simply answered campaign slogan. It's a no for me. See, you gotta listen to those folks that's voting.
And we had somebody run for state rep that was supposed to talk. I think may have been Dorian. Government subsidized farmers, coal, etc. David Porter, 9553. Thank you, David, for being part of the show tonight. Yeah. They don't want to touch the schools because it requires work. I think nobody really wants to dig down, I think, is Dorian's point. I think he's right. Kenneth's hiding from the Canadian smoke. Those Canadians, they get you every time, don't they?
Yeah.
Politicians are distractions.
Well, they about to open up a Canadian bridge, So
I guess Mr. and I wish I could have asked Mr. Burton this. You're running for state representative. I appreciate that, and I was unaware that he had interest in reinstituting the pension system for elected in Lansing. I did not know that.
At least he was honest about.
Yeah, I was confused because I was like, they lost their pension some time ago, and I'm not talking negatively about the working people,
And Kwame Kilpatrick was last of the state legislators that got the good home.
Well, we do know that there's some people. It's been in the news in the last few weeks. That are collecting six figures from the state legislature, but that's gone away probably 20 years ago, and I expected that was a done deal, and I guess it's not, Les. You're right, and I'm wrong. Stephanie Jackson, good evening to you, Stephanie. Glad you joined us. I just don't know how you can focus on that when there's so many other things to be thinking about.
Well,
I think Les is right. He may win. I looked at the candidates for the 9th state representative district, and it looks like he's probably the most well-known of them. So he may do that, but let's focus on the people we represent most, and not ourselves.
John James said he would make the Canadians put the fire out if he elected governor. Hopefully we got John James coming on the show. He said he's going to come on the show. So y'all can have a field day of asking the Republican. Well, it looks like he might be the Republican nominee, but anything possible.
But it's a silly season, right? People are giving us all kinds of promises. I mean, wasn't it the president that was going to, finish off the war in one day?
Build a wall. I tell you.
I've got my plan. but no one's listening to it. You know, I think what we do is we start with Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan are both billionaires, and all we need from them is 10%. All we need from them is what they made in interest in the last year. $100 million. Right?
Elon Musk got $1 trillion,
Yeah.
so he can donate 500 billion.
Yeah, they could donate what they made in interest in 1 year is $100 million on $1 billion, and the solution is out there, but they're not giving it up. You know, they let you bring a can of green beans to Bruce Springsteen used to let you bring a can of green beans to his concerts back in the 70s and 80s, but you know, he's making $100 million a year just sitting on.
Do you get mad at him for making the $100 million?
No, I'm talking about interest. He's a billionaire.
Yeah,
I'm not mad at him, but my point is, you can collect cans of corn, but put your money where your mouth is. You want to give back to people. Give 1 year's investment earning $100 million back to the community. Nothing stopping him from doing that.
Well, the poll came out, I guess the last few days, where it shows that Haley Stevens is up 7 points over Abdul. Look like he might not be so lucky.
Well, I think it was that little dance thing he did, and you know, free comes at a price. That's the problem. Most people that are voting in this state, if they're over a certain age, and they know there's nothing free. That's why I brought up the Medicare. We pay for Medicare. We've been paying for it since we went to work at 18 years old, up to 65, and we pay for it every month coming out of our check. So Medicare for all means what? What does that mean? What does that mean? You're just going to give it to everybody for free?
Yeah. Well, I call it being a socialist. Is, you know, you got a baseball, Little League baseball team. They finish in last place, but they still get trophies. Everybody gets a trophy. Somebody got to win. Somebody got to lose. What you can't give everybody everything. You can't pay for it. You can't give a free. You're not going to be able to get free electric, free water. You know, there's
free
a price
transportation, a bus system. That's what Willie Burton's calling for. Free bus system for everybody all the time.
Well, you know, at one time there was free. Seniors could ride for free, which the system in Michigan, they don't make any money. It's always subsidized. So they can find money for other things, but for most important thing, they can't find any money. Can't find any money for the schools. Can't find any that man. So.
Do you really think the schools, it's money? What do our viewers think? Do you think it's the money? Is it really the money? I don't think it's the money.
No. What is it?
It's the people that aren't willing to do it for the money. It's the people that are out there that could be dedicating their lives to this, who are becoming elected or being in a school system.
What make Cass Tech and Renaissance, Martin Luther King, what make them better schools than the other schools here in Detroit?
Leadership.
Okay.
It's leadership. We talk about the next governor's husband, Ryan Fredericks, who worked for Stephen Ross. It's leadership. That's why Stephen Ross has so much money. He let his money work for him. All right. These are people that are effective in doing what they're doing.
Well,
it's different from the government that the people that are socialists think you're going to put all your faith in the government and hope that they run your life. It's just not going to work.
Miss Sheila want to know who's running against Haley Stevens.
That would be Abdul El Sayed in the primary.
Yeah, So, you
Who
know,
is promising, and he was on the show. I mean, I don't dislike the guy. I just think that he's a little misguided. I just think when you talk about giving everything for people for free, let's take care of our seniors. Let's take care of our kids. Let's use the money. Let's not waste the money. That's what I'm talking about, Ada. If you talk about money, I'm talking about it's not the money, it's wasting the money that's got us in this situation.
Well, when you see these idiots like Bernie Sanders, who I've been up close to them, they millionaires and whatever, but they tell you, you know, they want to give they want to make everything free for the so-called downtrodden folks. You ask Bernie Sanders about reparations, and he said, "Oh, it can't happen." They do not deal with the most important issues of the community, and it's too bad that we got people that's hooking their train up to the people like Rashida Tlaib and Bernie Sanders. You got McKinney running against Sri Canada, which I thought had a good shot until he went and became Rashida's minion. She's like the Wicked Witch of the West, and he's one of her minions. You know, she's building a machine. They going around the country getting folks like McKinney and these other folks. So they basically control them, get them elected, say some of the craziest shit you can say. You know, anytime you got a so-called progressive that beat an incumbent in New York and congressperson, you got David Duke saying, "Man, me and her got more in common than I got with the folks in the Republican Party." So, yeah, as they go so left, and you go so right, they meet up with each other. They like twins.
That's exactly right. I agree with you, Adolph. That's how we end up with that's how Stalin and Mussolini and how many of the Hispanic leaders I can't whether it's Castro or
you look like Castro, that we helped put Castro in power, and we thought we had a person that was going basically still let the mob do their dirty work and all this other stuff. But he came in and he ran them all out, ran the companies, the rum companies, tobacco companies out of Cuba. But guess what? If you go check his Swiss bank account, he living large.
He's a capitalist.
Yeah.
He was a capitalist, I should say.
Yeah, so that tells you something.
Bernie Sanders he's all for socialism for you and for me, but not for himself.
No, there's no question. Yeah,
he wants us.
Kenneth, that's not true. Mussolini, that's a lie that they told about Mussolini. The trains did not come on time. But hey, you say it loud enough and long enough, it becomes the truth.
Unless, as fortunately, this realm is only temporary, so we don't have to endure this mess forever. As Lindsey Graham, who was working on something, didn't really get it done, did he? He's gone.
Yeah, let's go ahead.
Another commercial? We need another commercial?
Yeah, we got one more, and then we come back to wrap it up.
Hi, I'm Eric Sabri, your Wayne County Treasurer. Are you living in the home of a deceased family member and you're facing property tax foreclosure, or maybe you know someone who's in the same situation? The probate process may be helpful to you. If you file a probate petition and notify our office, the foreclosure proceedings will be halted during the probate process. We have several nonprofit partners who have free attorneys who can assist you. Contact our office, 313-224-5990, or email us at taxinfo@waynecounty.com. Don't lose your family property. Some of these properties have been in the family for 4 or 5 generations. Contact us now. We're here to help.
Midterm elections influence our schools, public safety, housing, and other services families rely on every day, and that includes gas prices. While presidential elections get more attention, many decisions that affect daily life are made by leaders elected in the midterms. Your vote is your voice. Voting helps ensure community concerns are heard. It holds leaders accountable and supports positive change. Make a plan to vote and encourage family, friends, and neighbors to do the same. Our community is strongest when every voice is heard. For more information on how and when to vote, call 313-876-0190 or go to detroitmi.gov/elections. When we vote, we don't just choose leaders, we choose the future of our community. Vote.
Okay, we're back.
Mike Rogers, Ms. Sheila, is unopposed in the Republican side for the Senate. Almost knocked off Elizabeth Slotkin in a Republican year. I think he'll have an uphill battle this time against either El Sayed or Haley Stevens.
Yeah, Bernie is an independent. Why is he controlling the Democratic Party? Because he don't have an independent party to go to. Listen, Vermont and Maine, they real different. Maine has an independent senator. He votes with the Democrats. August King, and had independent governors. So they've been independent. Minnesota is pretty much like that. Anytime they can elect a WWE guy, Jesse the Body Ventura, as governor. Hey, but Jesse wasn't stupid, but he got smart one term and he was gone because the shit is it's a lot of work.
Thank you, Amy, for being a part of the show tonight. I appreciate your comment. He was bad at public. He was bad at a lot of things, Kenneth. Duela says, hello, Lady T, and thanks for all you do. She holds this thing together. Teresa's the best. Who allowed the old Cass Tech to sit vacant with open trespass full of records? Yeah, I don't know.
The school district. The school district. No question. They couldn't even build a football field right when they built the new Cass Tech. The same company that built the new Cass Tech and they built a Clarkston high school campus for less money, and we got shit out of the Cass Tech. But you had people that was trying to save the old school over 100 years old. It's like, man, I don't understand that. You want to save a building that was beyond repair. But Joe Lieberman used to be a Democrat, and but they ran him out of the party, just like they ran Joe Manchin out of the party. The party is, after these midterms, we'll see the state of the Democratic Party, because I think the Democratic Party of Barack Obama is not here. I go back to Barack Obama. It's not the Bill Clinton Democratic Party. It's not the Barack Obama Democratic Party.
And Fred Allen hits it right on the nose when he says it's money and the will to put the kids first when we talk about education. That's exactly what I was trying to say, Fred. It's not just the money. People need to be committed, whether it's educating kids or protecting them. We're committed to neither, and that's frustrating to me. Look outside and see and smell the Canadian fire. You'll need a mask. It reminds me of the plague Jehovah put on the Egyptians. Come on, Deborah. Getting a little tough on us today. Thank you, though. Thank you for your.
But nobody talks about this smoke that's coming from Canada and stuff. There's people that got asthma, people can't breathe, people on oxygen. Uh, yeah, this is and we go about our business like no big deal,
And we're not teaching history, Deborah. When I watch TV and somebody says William Shakespeare and George Bush signed the Declaration of Independence, that's not going back nearly as far as you're going. So nobody's really paying.
or you got folks saying, well, Barack Obama let us down during 9/11. He went into hiding.
He did.
He wasn't the president. He was not the president. Yeah.
So he is the guy in the mic. He had the microphone and on top of that mound of dirt in New York City. That was Barack. I thought that was George W. Bush.
Yeah. Robert Bob did. What did he do? Robert Bob did help destroy the district. Gutted it. Got paid.
Hey, Les, Michigan voters are still legacy white position voters and cannot stomach electing an Arabic man as their U.S. senator. I don't believe that that's what it is. I just believe it's the BS.
Well, what they say in the polls that the majority of Abdul's support come from white voters,
educated white voters.
Well, educated, uneducated. But I'm gonna tell you, he fits right in. He's not. He won't release his taxes. He won't release anything because he's the man. He's the person that he's attacking on the campaign trail. He attacks himself. Unless he's giving away all his money, then I believe that he's truly a progressive and a socialist. Empty his bank account. Say the first 1,000 people that come to my bank, they're gonna get paid. That's what I look at when I see a socialist saying, "I'm giving all my money away. Everybody's supposed to be the same. We the same."
Like Bernie Sanders, he only thinks you should be a socialist. He doesn't think he should be a socialist. John Conyers supported single payer healthcare. Kenneth, that's exactly what I was talking about. There's a big difference between single payer and Medicare for all that's free. That's the only point I was trying to make earlier. Single payer is probably the solution, but I don't know if we'll ever get there.
Well,
go ahead, Adam.
Yeah, what I'm saying, Mary Waters just got reelected to city council, got kicked off the ballot for Congress, running as a write-in. These people, they see we voters are asleep because obviously she do not want to be on council. Or did Shree persuade her to get some of those votes so he can win? That's the only way he's been winning. But ain't been a great campaign for the state rep McKinney. Yeah.
I agree with that. David Porter said we're the only industrialized country without some type of national health care system. I don't know if that's true or that's, a lot of things that happen are reported that way.
Well, sometimes you go to England and you read the horror stories, and these are some members of the royal family. They supposed to have privilege. That one of them son got sick, needed emergency surgery. They took him to a hospital, but it was a hospital wasn't for that. It wasn't for that. You got 3 tiers of different kind of hospitals there. So they had to transport him someplace else who died. Or you got to wait 6 months before you have surgery on some surgery. So some people go to other countries to get an operation.
And some Americans have moved to Canada because they thought they were going to get treated in.
But the Canadians coming here.
The majority of them didn't make it. I'll tell you that. I gave you some examples, but a lot of them die in the hallway waiting to get into a room over there. At least that's my understanding. And I could give you an example or two that I know, but I'm not going to.
David
It's a
Porter
mess.
that says Mary Waters needs to retire, but we just put her back in. We put her back in. You know, this is just this. We got what kind of council do we have? Somebody told me the other day we got a progressive council. I said they don't even know what a fucking progressive is. A real progressive. Mary Ann Mahaffey was a progressive. Mel Ravitch was a progressive. Coleman Young was a progressive. Now you want to see some progressives? Irma Henderson, progressives. These folks is not progressive because we got 2 gay people on the council. That makes it progressive. We done had gay people get elected in Detroit. I can name 4 or 5 former elected officials that were gay. Everybody knew it, but they were most of them was good officials. Shit. So, yeah, the Detroit City Council, you got people that get elected, then they decide they running for something else. They want to run for mayor, and you just got in. You know, God, do the damn job that you got elected to. Running as a write-in. Anybody that vote for a write-in at this stage is wasting their fucking vote.
And Dorian says man can't lead its own footsteps. I think that's the answer, Dorian. We need real leadership in this country, and we don't have it. And that goes for our school system. That goes for city councils all over the state, all over this country. We're more interested in electing people that align with our thoughts, but they're not very effective at leading them for the most part, I would say.
Well, Detroit is small enough, large enough to have a city manager. You don't say that because that's a we have strong, weak council. You know, yeah, right, Kenneth. Mary Ann Mahaffey wasn't afraid to come in the community. He said Chris and I often met with her at her home in North Rosedale. Yeah, and I couldn't stand for some of the things. But you know where she was coming from. You know that she was for the folks. Same way with Mel Ravitch. Same way with Coleman Young. They came out of that. Coleman Young ran as a socialist, supported Henry Wallace when he ran for president. A socialist, used to be vice president. But Coleman Young said he was going to be whoever he was going to be. He said he didn't care what kind of flag they flew, that they was for civil rights and getting rid of racism and bigotry. So yeah, when people called him a communist or a socialist at times, he said, yeah, he worked with them. You know, he was just trying. Listen, he was just trying to make the community better. Now we got these so-called people saying, let everybody move. We got all these homes, let them move into them. People that don't somebody got to pay taxes? Don't somebody got to have money? The upkeep of the houses. What is the city gonna take care of them? Move in, and we'll pay your rent. We'll pay your water bill. You know, yeah, all the shit. The rent is too damn high.
Hey, On Purpose. There is a book coming out on Purpose. When's your book coming out, Adolph?
What book? But anyway, your final thoughts, Jim.
I just want to say thank you to everybody. It's really interesting and insightful what we learn amongst each other on this show, and I just want to say thank you to everybody that participated.
Then I thank you. Thanks, Lady T. Vanessa, Miss Vanessa, be back on Friday. Allan on, I guess, on Saturday. You know, but Jim, as always, holding down the fort. Hey, you know, what can we say? And Miss Brown, how many would cringe at the voting booth? Wish we had better options. Don't like the options in the city or governor's race. You know what? Yeah, it's tough.
How do you argue with Tamaya Brown? She knows what she's, or yeah, she knows what she's talking
It's
about.
tough.
Thank you.
Okay, be back on Friday. Hope you have, and thanks for joining us this evening. You could have been doing something else.